All-out rescue efforts are underway in Xizang, or the Tibet Autonomous Region, after a deadly 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck a remote border town in southwest China. After 24 hours, what's the situation on the ground? And after impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol defied his arrest warrant, how is the Republic of Korea's political turmoil impacting the wider region? Welcome to The Point, an opinion show coming to you live from Beijing. I'm Liu Xin. Going all out to save lives. On the same day as a 6.8 strong earthquake struck in southwest China's Xizang, or Tibet, the Chinese president ordered all-out rescue efforts to save lives and minimize casualties. The quake hit the remote border county of Dingri on Tuesday morning, killing 126 people so far, injuring 188 more, and damaging over 1,000 houses. Within the first 24 hours, more than 400 people had been rescued, including a 90-year-old grandmother who was pulled from beneath the rubble. The tremors were also felt throughout the Himalayas and as far as neighboring Nepal, Bhutan, and India. Rescue teams were immediately mobilized in the race against time. However, the high altitude, remoteness, and freezing temperature are posing additional challenges. What's the situation now on the ground, and how are disaster response teams adapting to the region's unique needs? I'm pleased to be joined via Skype from Lhasa, capital of Xizang, by local resident Norbu Dramdu, from Beijing by Fu Jie, operational focal point of the China Search and Rescue Team and Deputy Section Chief of Special Rescue Section of Beijing Fire and Rescue Department, and in the studio by renowned current affairs commentator Victor Gao. Gentlemen, welcome to The Point. But first, some facts about this region and this disaster. Now, Xizang, located in southwestern China, is known as the roof of the world, spanning an area larger in size, dark blue here, larger in size than Germany, France, and UK combined. Now, Dingri County lies on the northern slope of the Himalayas, bordering Nepal to the south. With an average altitude of 4,500 meters, it is home to the northern base camp of Mount Kumulangma, the world's highest peak. With a population of over 60,000, the county is one of the most populous border counties in Xizang. The epicenter was located in Cogo Township, with approximately 7,000 people living within a 20-kilometer radius. The area includes about 27 villages. Now, let me go to Norbu Dramdu, who is located in Lhasa, about 500 kilometers away from where the quake shook. Norbu, thanks for joining us. I understand you own an educational company and you have employees who are originally from Dingri, and Norbu have set them to go home because of the quake. We'll get back to Norbu just a moment when we'll reestablish the line. But let me go to Victor here, because you have been to Rikaze, and tell us a bit about that area in general. What kind of place is that? What does it look like?
Thank you very much for having me. Rikaze, generally speaking, is to the west of Lhasa. It is on the southern slope of the Himalaya mountain ranges. Depending on which particular location you are talking about, in Rikaze you have valley regions and also mountainous regions. I understand the epicenter actually happened in the mountainous region. Now, access to the region is still very difficult, even in the best of the circumstances. Now, coupled with the freezing temperature, I think it compounds the difficulty for the rescue mission. However, I understand the Chinese government and the Chinese military dispatched rescue teams immediately, to such an extent that some of the people affected by the earthquake came out of their dwellings and saw helicopters and transportation planes flying above them just 1 or 2 hours after the outbreak of the quake. That means China is fully prepared, Tibetan region is fully prepared, and the emergency department, ministry, and the Chinese military are fully prepared to rescue as many people as possible.
Sorry, Victor, you mentioned the military. So how does China's emergency response mechanism work when at times of disaster such as this? Who will be mobilized? Very briefly, please.
Yes, I think the emergency rescue efforts would involve both the civilian side of the equation and the military side of the equation. And it depends on how this natural disaster will be characterized or above certain magnitude. Now, apparently, this earthquake at 6.8 degree warranted combined military and civilian rescue efforts. That means the Chinese military stationed in Tibet in particular are fully mobilized immediately after the recognition of the magnitude of this earthquake, and military planes of all kinds, transportation vehicles carrying relief items are rushed to the epicenter to save people on the one hand and provide necessary items like the tents and the blankets because of the freezing cold to the people.
See, we're seeing people in different kinds of uniform. We're seeing military, for instance, and this is not just for any particular region. Basically, all over China, when a major disaster struck, the PLA, for instance, or even the public security units would be mobilized as well. Victor, is that the right understanding?
Absolutely. I think the efforts involving multiple groups.
For instance, here we're seeing armed police.
Absolutely. Each will play different roles. And the armed police, emergency department, and local authorities, and also specialized rescue teams, professionally run and managed, will be rushed to the scene. And the rescue dogs will be dispatched. You talk about a multitude of people doing different things, taking care of different things, but only with the purpose of saving people and then providing as many relief items as possible. Medical teams will be mobilized. I heard that one hospital, which has been permanently put on rescue alertness, rushed their doctors and nurses to the epicenter within hours.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting here. Let's go to Noble Drumble, a local resident joining us via Skype from Lhasa, the regional capital, which is 500 kilometers away. But he has employees from his company who are originally from Dingri. So Noble Drumble, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I understand that you own an educational company and have employees who are from Dingri. You've set them on leave to go back home and check on their relatives and loved ones. Please tell us more about it. Are you in contact with your employees? Are they okay? Are their relatives and friends okay?
At the very beginning, like when they tell me about this, bad news, I think it's very threatening. And in many one of them that they are very much like they're really worried that much. And then after seeing so much information from the news, from CCTV, from the social medias, we found like we're having a lot of different kinds of support from everywhere in China, especially the people like from the military side, as this gentleman just mentioned, like from military side, they're sending hundreds of people, like the medical people, like sending there to rescue the people who are living there. And then the thing is, when I call them, they're very, very calm. Like when I at the very beginning, when they thinking of leaving the company and going to their home, they're very much like worried. But now when I call them again, after seeing those news, after they see those caring people all around, I can hear from their voice, they're very much like very calm. And then I think they're no longer worrying that much about their family, and it's getting much better.
Wow, that's great to hear. I understand there are 500 kilometers about between Lhasa and Dingri. So how is the transportation, for instance, for your employees? How long did it take for them to go home? Was it an okay ride? And obviously you're able to reach them on the phone. So does that mean that the telecommunications infrastructure are intact or have been restored?
Yeah, the telecommunication is excellent at this moment, at this condition. And then like I can contact them anytime. They keep sending me those videos that they see when they're on their way to their home. And then like the people in my team, when they getting there, didn't take that much long. But the thing is, because a lot of people want to send their best regards. They're like helping hands to reach this earthquake hit area. So a lot of people trying to drive their own private cars, but from the government side is like, please do not trap that many people. So also, I think that if people are hearing that, I think it's not that good idea to driving your private cars and going there, because Tibetan people are very kind, very compassionate. We're thinking of going there all by ourselves and bring all the things where we have to go there.
Sure.
But the thing is, we're having a lot of things from state from the state, and we're having like a great support from those state-owned companies and from those private companies, all the things from the government, which is very supportive, and no longer need to worry.
All right. Well, I wish you all the very best. And of course, to your employees who are with their affected ones, I hope all goes well. Things go back to normal as soon as possible. Noble Drumble joining us from Lhasa. Let me go to Fu Jie, who is a experienced rescuer who has been involved in international operations such as the Chinese aid mission to Turkey when that country was hit by a major earthquake a couple of years ago. Fu Jie, you have been working in the firefighting and rescue command for 28 years. From your perspective, as I said, quite some damage has been made. From a technological point of view, what is available now or what is not available for the rescuers? Are they well equipped from your understanding based here in Beijing?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. As we all know, we are more than 24 hours past the earthquake, but we're still in the 72 windows of the rescue, which is the golden period. And my colleagues down in the rubbles, they've been excellent in the rescue operations. And now they are using their techniques, for example, the breaching and breaking, and also shoring, and also some rope techniques, the rescue operations, and all their techniques they have to make the save of the local people. And so
sorry for interrupting, Fuji. Sorry for interrupting. We were just looking at image of the 90-year-old grandmother who was pulled from beneath the rubble, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, please continue, Mr. Fu.
Yes, I think that the environment is very challenging given the low temperature and high altitude, and also the daylight is very short, which are all the challenges for the rescuers to make the save. However, my colleagues are there. I think they're very experienced and they have all the techniques they have, and so for the rescue operations, it's ongoing very. I think it's very effective.
As you mentioned, the race against time is even more dire for a remote place like this one and in winter. So what kind of efforts are being made to ensure timely and effective response over the next days and weeks ahead?
The first, I think, is the quick reconnaissance, provide the information to make the right decisions. And the second is that all the professional rescuers from the fire departments, they have the right techniques to go to the scenes. From the video footage, we can see that all the buildings collapse. In these types of buildings, when they collapse, they cannot provide much of the space for the people trapped inside. So it's a race against time to put people out. Otherwise, they will suffer from the low oxygens, and they will be maybe suffer from some crash syndromes, even the hypothermia, the low temperature cause many problems for them. So it's a race against time.
And finally, how unique is this disaster? What are the extra challenges you can add for the moment?
Well, as the rescue missions ongoing, we're ready to do the full evaluation of the whole situations. And for the rescue teams, they will do the rotation of the rescuers, because in this environment, all the rescuers, it's very challenging for the rescuers to perform their duties. They have to do the rotation to maintain the rescue speed at the same time to make sure they're safe.
Thank you very much, Fu Jie, for sharing with us your professional insights. Let me get back to Victor here in the studio. The Chinese president has ordered, as I said, all-out rescue efforts, and the highest level emergency response has been activated. What does that exactly entail, and what's Beijing doing about it?
President Xi Jinping has mentioned on many occasions that when a disaster like this happens, saving life is the most important thing. So everyone, every military entity or government entity should be fully mobilized to use all the resources at their disposal to save lives. Now, this is unique in China. It bypasses all the bickering between departments, between central government and provincial local governments, between the military versus the civilian side. Saving life is the most important thing. And I think my countrymen, including myself, are very much impressed with this, and we all want to help by, for example, making donations and otherwise, for example. And this also really stands out in comparing with many other countries. Saving life and saving life as soon as possible as the gentleman just now said, within the golden period, for example, rather than allowing them to perish and eventually pass away, is the top priority that China has set for its own government, the military and organizations of all kinds
across
in a
different
disaster situation like this.
Thank you. We're going to leave it there, and we hope all things go well. Many thanks to our guests, Fu Jie, Deputy Chief of Special Rescue Section at Beijing Fire and Rescue Department, and Victor Gao,